during that mindset, or during that time that you were in between the jobs, because the following one didn't work out, what was going to your mind? Were you starting to come up with new ideas like, what direction do I want to go in? Or I kind of just need to take the time off and then figure it out once I'm.
Yeah. So the first thing that I did really, and it was almost after that, there's no way to avoid having that gut wrenching feeling. But right after that, I was fortunate to go through a course with a couple mentors of mine, that it's called the Relentless Solution Focus. And it's something that always, they kind of designed it for sales training, but it's something that's just, it's so applicable to life in general. But basically the framework of it is, when a problem happens or a situation happens that's not good, what is one thing that you can do to improve the situation? It doesn't have to be a home run. It doesn't have to be the answer, but what's one thing that we can do right now to improve the situation and go from bad to a little bit better? So, pretty quickly after I got off that call, it was, I didn't have a pity party. Obviously, it sucked. There's no other way to say it. But at the end of the day, I chose to make the decision to take the risk and leave and start a new job with a new company. And that's something that, to me, I'm such a strong believer that we all have agency. And I think it's very dangerous when we kind of lose that agency and, feel like we don't have control over what happens. Even something like this. Obviously, hey, this was something that nobody saw coming. But at the end of the day, I chose to leave, and I'm the one that set the wheels in motion to wind up unemployed. Obviously, this was something that, there was nothing else that I could do, but I still chose to make the decision. And being able to attack things with that mindset allows you to take that next step towards improving the situation, because you're not just in that like, well, now I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I had this happen to me, and, well, I guess there's nothing I can do. I just think that's so dangerous, and it's something I tell myself every day. Like, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to let myself get in that head space. So immediately I just started thinking, all right, hey, I did this to myself. I'm going to get myself back up. Because I looked at it and it's like, all right, if this happened, there's not going to be any good jobs come up for, at that time I was a little naive. I thought like 3 months. I thought we'd be out of the woods by then. So I was like, all right, well, 3 months, I'm not going to be able to get anything. So I might as well, come up with plan B and plan C. So, and that's what led me to starting the travel agency. And a lot of people probably listen to this and say, in this environment, you thought the right idea was starting a travel agency. Again, that's not the home run, but hey, it's one thing that I can do right now. I've got time on my hands. There's relatively low cost of entry to start that. And it's something that I had wanted to do and should have done, years ago. I always help people plan trips. My mom was actually a travel agent, so I kind of had that in my blood, but it was always something I loved doing. And I left, I lost out on a lot of money because I would just help people because it was just a hobby of mine. So it was like, all right, well, I have no more excuses left, because I was always busy, which I wasn't too busy to do that. It was laziness. And so I'm kind of speaking to hopefully the people listening to this too, is like, first of all, hey, don't put that off, whatever that project is that you think you should start, because you never know when another pandemic's going to hit and you're going to wind up needing to go after that. And it would have been a lot better if I had, started this 4 years ago and been able to have, a bigger clientele to go after. But, it's okay. Here's something I can do. I can do it relatively quickly, and it's something I love doing. And then, I also kind of thought like, man, this sure sounds like what that story, that I would tell 10 years from now to, a group of students or a group of people, or on a podcast, and say like, man, I wound up lost my job. I felt like emotionally rock bottom, and 3-month-old, and how I'm going to figure this out. And it just kind of sounded like that story. So I was like, hey, you know what? Screw it. There's no better time than now. Yeah. And so that's when I decided, I might as well do this. And obviously during this situation, it's not an explosive time for travel, but I've been able to carve out a really good niche. And most importantly, I got started. So if even it's a little bit now, but it's the start that I needed to be able to get to where I wanted to go.